the Rams. Bah!
Adelaide to bring it out from their own line. And met by some very willing Auckland defence. And pushed back a couple of metres. Gerard Walters just goes from dubbing half, picking up Darren Doherty. 25 metres out from his own line.
As now the Adelaide Rams make their way out onto Marathon Stadium for the first time.
Hello and welcome to the Rampage League podcast. My name is Darren and I'm joined in the studio by Simon. How are you this week?
I'm great, Darren. How are you going?
Very well, thank you very much. And we've had a bit of a revolving door in presenters again this week.
Wotto's been put on the bench permanently for a while, so it's just me and you today. Hopefully, some new people coming soon. Stay tuned.
Yes, definitely stay tuned. Absolutely. And we're going to kick off this week's episode with some news out of the NRL, where the first game for the 2024 season will be played.
Yeah, it was very interesting to hear this the other day. They were saying we heard rumours for months about Vegas getting the first 4 teams going over there. I kind of thought, okay, this might just be a storm in a teacup kind of thing. It won't happen. And then we found out that, yes, it's happening next year. Brisbane Broncos, the Manly Sea Eagles, South Sydney Rabbitohs and the Sydney Roosters are going to Vegas. Kind of like the hangover. It could be dangerous. Rugby players usually they have a few drinks and they get a bit naughty. So it'd be interesting, especially Manly Sea Eagles. I know they, or even South Sydney Rabbitohs could be dangerous. So Manly and the Broncos will be the home sides. So that'll be interesting to see like the funding they receive from the NRL being the home team. Will they get how much percentage of the pie they'll get for going over there? And South and Roosters, a visiting team, it'll be very interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Saying that though, I think to send the game to United States when they don't really know much about rugby league, when we could be probably sending the game to other states that don't get rugby league as much, like Perth, like they had the doubleheader a couple of weeks ago and it was successful. Obviously Adelaide, we'd love to have that here. Imagine having a doubleheader here to start the season instead of going all the way over to America. What's your thoughts on that, Darren?
I understand why they're doing it. I think it should be in Australia. Give it to Adelaide. It would be good. We've always drawn really good crowds for home and away games we've had here between teams, so why not? Or WA, I think just keep it in Australia. Just looking at the story on the NRL website, it's going to be part of Australia Week in Las Vegas, where we will be showcasing rugby league in Australia to the US market. Is there a need to showcase rugby league over in the States? They do have rugby over there, but it's not to the standard that it is over here. So is there a need?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think it would be very interesting to see the crowds and are they going to have to explain the rules like they did in Adelaide that first year? Is it going to be like, so why are they passing the ball backwards? Why are they putting the ball down over the line? Like, there's going to be, I'm guessing there's going to be Aussies over there. People might plan trips to go to Vegas, go see a show and then go watch the NRL. But it'd be interesting to see how much excitement is around rugby league in Vegas, even in America. Is everyone like? I remember last month they had the Major League Cricket over there. And I watched that on Fox Sports, and it was like watching, no one was there. It was like a few Indian people, obviously, because they love their cricket. So the taxi drivers around Texas, but there was no crowd. No one cared. And then they had the Canadian Cricket League, same thing, empty. Like, does America care about rugby league? They've got their own sports. They've got the baseball. They've got the NBA. They've got the NFL. I don't hear them talking about rugby league. When I went to America, I don't see anyone talking rugby league. So it's going to be, I'm hoping it's successful just for us, for Australia. Maybe 20 years we can play America versus Australia in Tri-Nations and bring New Zealand or something. But I don't see a reason to go to America. Why? Why is the question?
No, exactly. At least they won't have to transform the stadium because they're a football. It plays on a rectangle field, so won't have to do much altering to a stadium, just the markings.
Yeah, it'd be funny if they do it like a rugby league field. Now, imagine if they just kept the NFL field and we go over there and we're like the 10-yard line, plays the ball out, they're going to put the sticks back and keep them. That'd be funny if they didn't. See someone run to the dead ball line and keep going and then go, you're out. It's going to be interesting, definitely. But definitely, I really think we should have had a couple of games, one in Perth, one in Adelaide, even Tasmania. Like National Rugby League, it's not even national. We could have put a few games, like made it like a gather round, but the whole of Australia gathers. So every state had a game for the weekend. Imagine the interest they would have. Everyone would have been talking about NRL in Australia, but now I don't even think they're going to talk about it in America.
No, exactly. There's enough teams to do that, to have games all across Australia on a specific weekend, and yeah.
Definitely could have been happening. Maybe it might happen in the future. We could, if they listen to this, and they go, oh, why don't we do that instead? It's interesting to say that they're going to Vegas. The time difference is going to be massive over there. Like, I know when I went to America, the jet lag was a big thing. They're going for a week, so I think it's going to be played on a Sunday afternoon. So it'll be Saturday there, but Sunday here. Like it's gonna be strange watching a game in America. I hope it goes well. I hope Manly win big against South, and I hope the Broncos beat the Roosters. I'll put my tips in now.
That's right. Yes. Yep. I'd have to say that my tips too would be the same. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So following that, we've also had big news about the Rugby League World Cup. It kind of was talked about earlier that they were postponing the Rugby League World Cup, and then people talking about where it's going to be hosted next, and then we found out that 2026 Australia is going to have the Rugby League World Cup. I think that's massive.
It is definitely, but it's funny. It was originally going to be in the States. Then the States, USA pulled out, and then France stepped in, and now they've taken a step back and said, nope.
No, we don't want it either. So, and we know how much Australia loves the rugby league. So it's like kind of like the soccer here now at the moment. How the Matildas, how the crowds have been there. I'm hoping that it will be the same for the rugby league in 2026, and hopefully. I don't think the Australian team will play Adelaide Oval. They'll have, obviously, Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney. But I'm hoping we get maybe a Samoan-Tongan game at Adelaide Oval, maybe England, like Fiji or something. Because I think if we had a decent couple of games, Adelaide Oval would probably sell out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's, as I said, it's always done well when we have had rugby games here. So be able to see the world's best teams, it's silly not to get a ticket to a game.
Definitely. So I think around Adelaide at the moment, there's a few pop-up like places for the World Cup to watch the Women's World Cup. So imagine that in 2026, there's like rugby league everywhere. So people actually will start talking about it again, because obviously in Adelaide, you don't see much rugby league here. I went to Rebel Sport, Rundle Mall today. I'm like, I'm going to go look here and see if there's anything rugby league, because I was interested. I walked in, AFL everywhere. Every team, every ball. They had heaps of soccer because of the World Cup, obviously. They had a couple of rugby league footballs, like little model league balls for like kids, but not one bit of merchandise at all. That was nothing. So I'm like, that's disappointing to know that. So hopefully in the future, with 2026 World Cup, you walk into Rebel Sport and there's footies and there's jerseys and like, so people can get behind it like they do the Matildas.
Oh, it is, because I know I always got one particular shop on the Gold Coast in Queensland that's all footy codes. And so I save up, if I know I'm going to the Gold Coast, to get my rugby league merch, because as you said, it's nothing here. And
nothing, yeah. So I think during State of Origin, they actually bring out merchandise, which was good, but State of Origin goes away and they pack it up away, and then there's no more rugby league. It's funny, you do see a lot of people wearing rugby league jerseys around here, like around the city. Today I've seen South jerseys, Parramatta jerseys. I don't know why they wear Parramatta jerseys, but they were. Obviously Penrith jerseys, because everyone loves Penrith these days because they can't get beat. Yeah, so it's even seen a Super League jersey today. I think it was St. Helens jersey.
Oh, yes,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit weird to see in the city. But hopefully, since they've announced the World Cup in Australia, Peter Malinauskas pushes for a few games, and we make it a sellout like we did for Origin.
We've got the history. We've proven that we can pull off big international events. I can't see this being any different to maybe like what we've got at the moment with the Women's World Cup. We've pulled off great events. So, yeah.
Yeah, talking about the Women's World Cup, we'll have a bit of a chat about that. Why not? Because it's the flavour of the week, isn't it? I remember I watched the game on Saturday night, and that was an amazing crowd. Like, I remember 13 odd years ago, I seen a picture of a game the Matildas played, and there was no one there. It was empty. To think about now, 13 years later, there was like 79,000.
We are at the home of absolute seeds, Fed Square. Guess what? Go Matildas, we're going to win the cup.
So much better than last game. Just brilliant.
No worries.
Football is on the up. Women's football is on the up. Are we winning the World Cup?
4-0. Doesn't get better than that. Up the Matildas! Everybody, round of 16. Get down to Fed Square. It's gonna get f***ing rowdy!
There's kids playing soccer everywhere. Like we obviously need that for rugby league, but the Matildas, they're going great. I'm definitely going to be watching their game tomorrow night. It was Wednesday night, and hopefully we can beat the English to get in the final because it's a big thing in Australia. I feel like most people were watching the quarter final, and I think everyone's going to watch the semi.
The statistics coming out of TV viewers for the whole World Cup has been amazing. It's been a big coup. I think the stats I've probably just seen are probably for Channel 7, but if you add on the stats probably for Optus Sport, so they've had so many eyes on a screen watching the Matildas. It's been, and this is something that the men haven't even been able to do, and so if they can go one step further, they'll be awesome.
It's definitely going to be big for the game in Australia this World Cup. Like, as you said, like the men's game, like, I just feel like the women's are getting more support. Like they're more relatable. I think that I know more players for the Matildas than I do the Wallabies, the Socceroos. I don't know really anyone. Like, the game was like it's obviously a different quality of game from men's, women's, but it was just more enjoyable to watch. There was less. I feel like the men's carry on a fair bit.
Yes,
because they're all like rock stars, really, aren't they?
Yes.
With the women, they just play the game. There's no BS. They play the game fair. And like Australia can relate to like the underdog kind of like we were looking like we're out for so much of that penalty shootout, but we just kept fighting. I remember watching it on the edge of my seat going, oh no, they've saved it, we're screwed. And then we'd kick the goal and it just kept going and just keep getting the edge of the seat. And then you see on Instagram and Facebook I think it was at the Optus Stadium, they were warming up for the Perth game.
Yep.
And they had on the big screen and we won. The crowd went crazy. Like we need that in the Rugby League World Cup 2026.
Oh, exactly. And if something like that can stop two AFL coaches from doing their press conference and stand in the hallway and watching the game on their phones, then they must be doing something right.
Definitely. I remember I watched the I think it was a TikTok video, and it was Triple M footy. They were doing the commentary, and one of the other commentators in the background, he was watching the soccer, and he's like, "Oh my god, what's happened?" They're like, "Oh, we've just saved it!" Like, and they were concentrating on the soccer while they were still commentating the AFL. I'm like, that is hilarious. Like, I think it'd be hard to do that extreme to the rugby league because Australia is so much better than anyone else in rugby league. We obviously need to build the other teams up, so like it's more of a contest. So then people want to watch it because I can imagine that there's a game at MCG and it's Australia versus New Zealand in the rugby league cup final, and it's extra time. And there's like a golden point win, and they're like, "Hold on a sec, like Nathan Cleary's just kicked the field goal. We've won the World Cup!" Like, and everyone goes crazy. Like that'd be pretty cool. But we'll see how we go in. What year is it? 2023. 3 more years till the World Cup comes here.
Yep.
Yeah. So go the Matildas. I think I'm looking forward to that game. You're tipping the Matildas. I hope you are.
I would love the Matildas. I think they deserve it, and it would do a wonder for the sport in Australia. And if it hasn't already, So yeah. And we'll go to a break, and we'll be right back very shortly. You're listening to the Rampage League podcast. Welcome back to the Rampage League podcast with Simon and Darren. What are we going to take a look at now?
So NRL review of last round 24, was a pretty easy tipping round for me. I got 8 from 8, which is great to hear. Thursday night we started off at 4 Pines Park, Manly versus the Panthers.
The Panthers have won their last 7 against Manly. They're closing in on potentially A third minor premiership in 4 seasons, but first things first, they've got a desperate Manly outfit tonight. Summerton's there. This is in a way to Cleary. A kick high in the air. Crichton taps it back. Sub. Beat 1, 2, 3, and they get over to pull him down. But if he saw a bit of daylight there, he would have been off and gone.
Well, this is the game that Manly wanted. We spoke to Anthony Seibold. We see Saab breaking tackles, looking for space. Anthony Seibold said before the game,
Garrick to Vayanga. There's some territory for him down the wing. He takes on Edwards one-on-one. That's a good tackle by Dylan Edwards. Expansive football by the Seagulls. Ben Trebojevic to Lachlan Croker to Cherry Evans now. Oh, Crichton pitched it. He'll have enough pace. Crichton, the intercept king, is going to dash off and score the try. What a remarkable start here. Cherry Evans barking instructions in the back play. They're going to try to barge their way there. They did. Simply try.
Tackle one, Ash.
and Manly hit the scoreboard.
It's really good play. Simply, he saw the smaller man in the defensive line.
They stack this left-hand side. Cherry Evans, Garrick! I think it's a try!
This will show it beautifully. Hubingham in replay. Reuben Garrick just stretches out over the top of his head.
Oh, how good's that?
He's got him shot.
Sonny Luke fires it out wide. Catch and pass. Crichton in the corner. It's a try to Penrith. There's some contention about it, though.
Space was out there. Sonny Luke went the wrong way to start with and then fires a bullet to Sorensen. Sorensen, nice clean pass out in front. And Stephen Crichton, he finishes off the work.
And Cleary's waiting. Anthony Seibold didn't want to get in the arm wrestle. Oh, he's picked straight away. It's a kicking duel. We're back to 1989.
What just happened?
And now Edwards is running away. And Crichton's got the ball. And back for Taruba. Taruba, he's gone straight through them.
Well, they're appealing for an obstruction. A few of the Manly players.
Taruba puts it down under the post.
Lachlan Croker, he just comes in screen there. No.
No way.
No.
What was Aaron Woods doing? Woodsy tackling. There was a tackle on Cogger from Jake Trebojevic in back play. It was a lifting tackle.
Now Cleary, now Edwards, now Hosking, he got bayonet! After all this possession, Edwards, Hosking, To'o, a try to To'o in the corner.
Good low to the ground, plenty of power. He can score from that far out. Bryant and the Panthers, they put it beyond reach.
Penrith march on. That's 8 in a row against Manly. They remain top of the ladder, and unfortunately for the Sea Eagles, it would appear their season, or at least the aspirations of featuring in the finals, have come to an end here. 24-12.
I think Manly played really, really well. They kind of had a couple of bad calls to refs, which kind of cost Manly, but Panthers won 24-12. The interesting point, Darren, I found for this game was the kicking duel. Did you see the kicking duel? What was your thoughts on the kicking duel?
Pretty good, yeah.
Like, it hasn't happened a long time. Like
No.
I think the 90s, maybe one. Like 80s was happen every now and then, but to see Reuben Garrick kick the ball on the first tackle and then the Panthers scored off it, I think we need to retire the kicking duel forever. I don't think it's in the modern game. I don't think it's like you probably played at school, the kicking duel, like, but not in a game rugby league. So hopefully Manly pull that one away because they were playing pretty good till that point. And then there's obviously a few calls that cost them dearly.
Yes.
And then Friday we had the Sharks versus the Titans.
We've
got some business to take care of here at home against the Titans. Not the most, interesting jerseys here. There might be a little bit of a clash as Jamin Jolliffe starts things off. last year for Cronulla. Hines decides to run. Trindle shapes the kick. Oh, it's a beautiful pass away from Talakai, and Ronaldo gets over, and the Sharks are off and running. So Trindle, fourth game in this 5/8 role, fourth game in a row. He's Sifa Talakai, he's got hands like cushions. They're so soft. Mulatalo getting away from falling. Away now to Tracy. On it goes Nikita. Delays the pass. Now links up with Ramian and he's away. He's got the fullback in front of him. The pass inside to Connor Tracy. And the Sharks go the length of the field. Connor Tracy scores. Great stats. 16 runs, 160 metres. He's now played every backline position. But most of the work was done for him here.
We just see their back row, Britton Nakora. He's as fast as a centre and outside back.
Jolliffe hard to put away and gets an offload. Randall for Boyd, now for Tino. He rumbles downfield and scores. Tino Fa'asuma Alawi.
Just what the Titans needed. Just they got that penalty. They get down there, good 6 again, and then some nice offload, controlled offload, get it to the edge, and they get points.
Hines going deep. Tracy goes for it all, and getting him is Phil Sami. Ankle injuries, what did him in recently. Now comes out Talakai. Mulatalo sets sail, gets there. Ronaldo Mulatalo has a double.
There he is there, out the back of shape. Aaron Shop goes for him. Talakai, nice hands, as you said earlier. Beautiful soft hands.
So another try assist for Sifa Talakai as we watch Mulatalo get it down. Brayley McInnes crashes over. Cam McInnes scores. 10 away, last tackle. Here's Trindle with a delightful double pump, and it's Wade Graham's night. And it's Wade Graham's try.
He just goes to the line, double pumps, plays short, lovely.
Rudolph steaming onto it. Rudolph has reached out. I think he scored. Toby Rudolph gets his first for the year. Oh, now that's all shoulder for Fafita, and Hamlin Uele looks at him and laughs.
Just walk away, Brandon, walk away. Blake. Nico, you have the penalty.
Oh, as Dave Fafita got himself into some trouble here.
Aaron, go.
And we got 10 in the bin. That's Aaron Clark, that's a back chat.
David's on report.
Not 10 in the bin. Bit of mercy taken there. And Campbell stays down after that one, so they're down another man. Moylan forces it, finds Nikita, he forces it as well. Oh, this is Razzle Dazzle. They've scored. Rabian is over.
Over on this right edge from the Sharks, Blake Brayley jumps out. Matt Moreland throws the dummy. Some great hands there. Britton Nikora. And then back to Brayley again, and he just basketball passes it over the top to Jesse Ramian.
And the Sharks have more than enough tonight. 36-6, they beat the Gold Coast Titans.
And I was expecting the Titans to come out strong. They just announced Dave Fafita and Tino Fasulawami. Yeah, him. I thought they would bring it. I thought it'd be a real close game, and I was wrong.
Yeah,
the Sharks killed them 36-6, which is disappointing because Titans. I think Titans, everyone's kind of team that they want to succeed because they never have succeeded, have they? Like, they're not going to make finals this year.
No.
Next year they've got Des Hasler coming in from Manly coach,
Yep.
former Bulldogs coach, so that might be a lot better. They still need a halfback, I think.
They
Titans.
do, yes.
And they've got the rest of the team is pretty good, pretty solid. They've got a good fullback. I don't know how they're going to work that with AJ Brimson and Jaden Campbell. I think Jaden Campbell needs to start every game. Maybe put Brimson in the centres. He's always injured too, Brimson, so you don't want to kind of bring him in, bring him out, because you want that spine to be kind of there all year, so they can gel. So you can put him in the centres, and they just like Kieran Foran, he's injured all the time too. He's getting old. So they just need that halfback. I think Tannen Boyd, he's been good this year, but he's not going to win you a premiership or get you in the final.
No.
I think the late game was I love this late game. One of the teams I hate the most is Parramatta. You either love them or you hate them. And they played the Broncos at the Gabba, and it was almost a cricket score for a while there. I was like, this is good. Be a cricket score at the Gabba, 54-10. So that Broncos, they look really good. Like, they can score points. I think finals of this finals football will be completely different because they've got Kevin Walters, isn't really experienced coach in the finals.
He is, yes.
Got their team. They haven't really got experience in the finals. You got like Adam Reynolds has done a few. Kate Kurtwell has had a few games. Obviously played with the Panthers and won the grand final. I think that will be a major test. Finals footy for the Broncos.
Yes.
Yes, and then on Saturday, went to Cairns.
Yes.
Barlow Park in Cairns, and it was the Dragons versus the Rabbitohs. I was hoping for the Dragons to win. Another team I don't like, South fans. But the Dragons, I feel so sorry for them because they've had a tough few years. And
they have, yes.
I feel sorry for Ben Hunt because he puts his heart and soul into every game. He just needs some help from some other players that are getting paid a lot of money and they're doing nothing. I won't mention names, but you probably know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So South won that 26-14. And then the 5 o'clock game in New Zealand, it was a West Tigers home game, and I was going for the Tigers again because they've had a tough run. Oh, poor Tigers fans.
Yes.
I actually said first podcast that I thought they'd make the 8, and then they had some injuries, and then they haven't really recovered since.
No.
So they lost to the Warriors 30-22. Closer than I expected.
Yes.
The Warriors have been on fire. So to say they got close, it's good, but still disappointing for the fans for the Tigers.
Yeah.
Then we had the late game, the Roosters and the Dolphins, which there was a repeat from round 1 where the Dolphins won their first ever game, which was good. This game was interesting to watch. I think the sin bin for the Dolphins really, really hit them hard early on.
Did,
or
yes.
when it happened. So when they lost that, a kind of game was over. Like, it was a shame. It was like the 47th minute, Ray Stone was sent, and after that, I think it scored 3 tries in like 10 minutes. It was Swali'i. Converted, sorry. So it was Drew Hutchison and Swali'i scored the tries. So that was 30 points to 14. And then we had the Sunday games. I was looking forward to the Raiders against the Storm.
Yes.
The Raiders in the top 8, but their for and against is terrible.
It is.
It's like minus 120, and they're still in the top 8. So like I was expecting the Raiders to show up, and they got destroyed. 48 points to 2 at Amy Park. And then the last game, I wasn't really interested in this game. I thought this is going to be one-sided, and it was. The Knights flogged the Bulldogs 42-6, and the Cowboys beat the Bye. So it was a good round. Crowds looked pretty good, but obviously I think it was for that round. It was a very there was no teams that were really going to push any other teams. There's always going to be blowouts, and most of the games were blowouts. So I'm hoping that round 25 will be a lot closer. Getting close to finals footy, you want to see some close games, and I think almost the top 8 is almost basically settled. There's only probably a couple of teams that can really get in, like the Cowboys, Parramatta, maybe the Roosters. They got a tough run, the Roosters. I think Manly are gone, which is a shame.
Definitely.
But obviously the teams to beat have got to be the Broncos and the Panthers. Panthers still got to be favourites just because they got so much experience at finals time. Nathan Cleary is got to be if not the best players in the top 3. And Dylan Edwards, I think he's got to be a smoky for Dally M.
Oh, for sure, definitely.
Okay, so we'll go on to the preview of round 25. I'll get your tips as well, Darren.
Yep.
Okay, so Thursday, so we've got the Cowboys at home against the Sharks. Cowboys, they've been really good lately. They've had a couple of slip-ups the last kind of fortnight, but they can score tries anywhere. I went to see them in Townsville when they played the Tigers, and they was it 74-0.
Wow.
I watched that, and I watched it live, and the crowd were loving it, of course. But I felt like they left points on the table. They could have got to 80 or 90. Would have hated to be a Tigers fan in Townsville that weekend. So,
yes.
So who's your tip, Tigers? Tigers. Cowboys or the Sharks?
Well, the Cowboys are coming off the bye. I'll go Cowboys.
Yeah, I think Cowboys. I think it's going to be, it might be a 74-0 game, but I think the forwards for the Cowboys, they've got a big forward pack. And I think Scott Drinkwater, he is in career best form, so I'm thinking he is going to be a big factor. I don't think I haven't announced the teams when we've recorded this, but I don't think they've got a fullback really that kind of challenges along the Sharks. So.
No.
And then so Friday we're going to Daniel Anderson Stadium, which I see on the app, so that's nice. Because obviously Daniel Anderson, he's now in a wheelchair, is he? Yeah, after
I think so,
an accident at the beach. So the Warriors played the Seagulls. The Warriors are short price favourites. Manly, I think they definitely played better last week, but I'm hearing, obviously I haven't got the teams announced yet, that they're going to move Josh Shilstar into second row, and Jack Arthur, whatever his name is, he's going to play 5'8". So that will be I think are better because I think Schuster's been hot and cold at 5'8".
Yes.
And Cherry Evans had to do everything. So him moving the back row, getting Arthur into 6 will help the Sea Eagles. I just don't know how they're going to play against New Zealand, who are just on fire this year. I'm hoping Manly win, but I'm going to have to tip against them and say the Warriors will win that. What do you reckon, Darren?
I'm afraid I'm going to have to be the same.
Yeah.
Warriors, yes.
All right, and then we've got the late game on Friday. This will be really interesting because this game is going to have a big bearing on the top 8. Parramatta versus the Roosters. Parramatta no Mitchell Moses either, so that will make it harder for them. Roosters won last week. They're playing a lot better than Roosters. Teddy seems to be back in a bit of form, so I'm hoping that the Roosters win because I'll never tip Parramatta in my life. So it's at CommBank Stadium, Parramatta at home. How do you think they'll go?
I'd go Roosters.
Roosters, yeah. They just seem like they've got more to play for now, haven't they?
Yes.
Then we've got the Saturday games. This is going to be interesting because I was reading on NRL before the Dolphins are struggling with some injuries.
Right.
There's 3 or 4, maybe 5 players that are going to be out against the Tigers. Tigers obviously on the bottom of the ladder, and if they can win a couple of games, they might get rid of that wooden spoon. So in Sydney, I don't think the Dolphins will win that. I think the Tigers will win that game.
Yeah, same. Yes.
Yeah, and the 5 o'clock game. I seen the odds for this, and I'm like, I should put money on this because this is crazy. So this is the Panthers versus the Titans. The Titans are playing $8.
Wow, right.
The Titans actually usually play pretty good against the Panthers. I've been to a few games, and it's always high scoring. I think the Panthers' defense this year is amazing. Probably the best defense I've seen in the NRL era. They are really good in defense. So I think the Panthers will win that. But it'd be funny if you put a couple of bucks on the Titans for an upset.
Yes.
So I definitely think the Panthers will win that game. The late game is at Wollongong, and that's the Dragons versus Storm. A rumour is that Pappenhausen will be back this game. He's played 2 games in Queensland Cup. So he hasn't played it felt like forever since he had his injury. So to see how he's going after 2 games back, will they put him on the bench? Will they name him starting? I'd put him on the bench against the Dragons.
Yes.
He can be like a utility. But I think the Storm will win that quite easily. Sorry, Dragons fans.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, same. Yep.
The early game on Sunday is the Knights versus the Rabbits. The Knights have been playing really good. Since they put Kalen Ponga at fullback, their team has changed. They should have never took him out of fullback. He's not a 5'8". He can't defend the line. Too many concussions. So I think it will be a really good game this, but I'm hoping the Knights beat South.
Same.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we've got the last round is going to be a good game. Nice and cold down in Canberra. It'll be the Raiders versus the Bulldogs. The Raiders really need to put a score on here. After their last 2 performances, they need to fix that for and against. And the Bulldogs they seem lost at the moment. They've got a good coach. I feel sorry for him, Cameron Ciraldo. He's a good coach, but I think they're already looking to next year when they get Stephen Crichton to come over from Panthers. So I think the Raiders really need to get a score just to get their confidence up. They've only scored 2 points. So what are you thinking of that game, Darren?
Bulldogs.
Okay, Bulldogs.
Yep.
Oh, all right. And then the Broncos have the bye, so they get to have some Maccas on Friday night and just chill for the weekend. Yeah, that sounds great.
It does.
All right. So after that, we talk about retirements. We have had not that many retirements this year. I was a bit shocked by the retirement of Jared Croker over the last week. A Canberra legend. I remember growing up in Canberra and Jared Croker was coming through the ranks and he kind of seemed like a bit of a sport brat. He thought he was entitled when he was younger. I guess all people are that age. He's like, I'm the best. I play rugby league. And then I never really liked him ever since. And then the last kind of 3 or 4 years, he had some bad injuries, and I felt sorry for him. And I kind of instead of just going off what people say to me about Jared, I actually looked him up and watched some videos about him. He actually was a really nice person, a family man, and he was Canberra to the bone. He was a backbone of their team. And I could see when he came back from injury this year, the Raiders were a different team when he was there. He had that experience. I was hoping he'd play on next year because they were talking about him playing on for really cheap because he didn't want to take any money out of the salary cap. That would have been great, but to see him retire, I'm actually a bit upset that he's gone because he's such a good player. I feel like he was on the edge of Origin. He just never made it. I think mainly because his defence. I think he wasn't the best defensive centre, and to play Origin, obviously need to be defensive. He was a good attacker, a great goal kicker. He was one of those guys who's almost an Origin player.
Yes.
He wouldn't have looked bad in a Blues jersey, but Obviously, the Blues have so many centres, like they probably could have 14 centres in their team. But yeah, unlucky for Jared. I wish him all the best in the future. I hope he stays on with the Raiders in like some sort of administrative role or like a assistant coach or something, because he is a great player, and he'll be missed by the NRL. What's your thoughts, Darren?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no, it won't be the same watching a Raiders game next season without Jared Croker in the green jersey. But I hope he stays involved as with the Raiders. But as most players do, they seem to always end up in the media. So maybe we'll see him in a media role.
He could be on Fox Sports. He could be the new host of NRL 360. I think Gordon Tallis is doing a great job doing that, but I don't think he'd want to do that long term, Gordy. I'm replacing who's that guy who coached him? Oh, sorry, the guy on NRL 360, Paul Kent. Yes. Be nice was Paul Kent. He's not going to be back ever again. Anyway, we'll move on from that. Darren, you want to talk about the SA, Rugby League SA? NRLSA, sorry?
Yes. They've had their semi-finals last weekend, and the first game was between the Brothers Tura, who were taking on the Eels. Brothers Tura took the Chocolates 50 points to 15. And in the second game, it was the Warriors against the Swans. And the Warriors scoring 32 points to 12. What will mean that we will see a Brothers Tura taking on the Warriors in the grand final this weekend at Elizabeth, the Air Park Stadium.
That'll be really good to see. I'll definitely pop down and have a look at their grand final. Hopefully, people who are listening will go down and support rugby league in South Australia. Hopefully, the weather turns out nice. It's going to be probably a little bit chilly, but it won't be really cold like I get from Canberra. So I'll probably be in shorts and a t-shirt, but I'm guessing everyone else will rug up. Looking forward to it. It's also been a good season, a lot better than previous. So looking forward to that. And obviously, next season we'll have more insight on the games and hopefully talk about it more.
Definitely. So good luck to both teams there, and that's the men's grand final this weekend.
Beautiful. That basically almost wraps us up there for today. I just want to quickly talk about our social media, as I talked about it post podcast. So our Jumbuck Army Facebook page, it's a private group. If you want to join, you can join. There's a couple of questions there you have to answer, just so we know you're not from Pakistan trying to sell me a bike. Currently we've got 554 members, which is amazing to start, because I started that group last year with Aiden, and it was just me and him to start off, and it was real slow. So thank you to all the members of the Jumbuck Army. We love seeing your posts of your Rams merchandise and just the support around rugby league in South Australia that you don't really see unless you're in the Jumbuck Army. So if you can join, or if you want to join, search it on Facebook, Jumbuck Army. Jumbuck Army. What did I say? Jumbuck Army. The Instagram page as well. Bring Back the Rams Instagram page. So just basically on Instagram, search Bring Back Adelaide Rams. So it's bring_back the Adelaide Rams Instagram. We've got 1,000 members now. So we cracked the 1,000. And we obviously post a lot of there about Rams merchandise, Rams photos, and the history of the Rams. It's an interesting page. I run that page. The petition, that lovely petition we all talk about every week. We definitely want you to sign the petition. We now have 482 signatures, which is great. We started at nothing and we're almost at 500. So thank you for everyone who signed that. Make sure you pass it on to, share it on your Facebook and get as many signatures as we can. But definitely thank you everyone for your support so far for the Rams. Thank you for everyone who listens to the podcast. Darren, you got anything to add?
Just on the petition, once we get to the amount that we need, what's the next step?
So I will print off the signatures we have. I will present that to, I've got the email of the sports minister. I'll present that to him and say, look, this is the Rams. This is our case to be put into the NRL. They've already said they will bring it up in Parliament. We've kind of got one chance to kind of bring it up. I'm not going to be like every week, the Rams, remember that last week? It's like one chance only to bring it up. Now, if we've got enough signatures, they hopefully will listen to what we've got to say. Obviously, they talk a lot of stuff up there, but if we have, I'd say 1,000 signatures would be the minimum we want, but the more and more we get, once we present it, it probably won't be this year, probably next year sometime, and then we can hopefully talk more with the SA government about, obviously NRLSA can help us out there if we can get funding, and then we can go forward. It's a long way off at the moment, but every signature counts at that petition.
Definitely, absolutely. It'd be excellent to make that happen, and That would be a great day when we can get to present that to the Sports Minister.
Definitely. I was just looking at your shirt you're wearing, Darren. Makes me remember. So Darren's got the Bring Back the Rams shirt, which you can see on our Facebook page and our Instagram. Deadsetstitchup.com. We don't own them, so it's not like we have them. So that's their deal. So if you jump on their website or their Instagram, make sure you buy yourself a Bring Back the Rams shirt, because obviously there's no Rams merchandise out here. You can't go down to Rebel Sport and go, "Oh mate, can I get a Rams jersey?" They don't have them anymore. So this is the best way to show your support. Bring Back the Rams shirt. In the future, we might be bringing out some more merchandise from us, and that will just be to fund the petition and the podcast. So, Bring Back the Rams. Go
the Rams, bah!
I think is the way to go.
Definitely. And if you do purchase a shirt, take a photo. We'd love to see you in your shirt. Use the hashtag Bring Back the Rams.
Definitely. I'll be sharing that all over my social media, so you'll be famous.
Yep. Definitely. And
thanks for joining us again. Hope you enjoy your footy this weekend, and bring back the Rams.
Go the Rams. Bah!
Adelaide to bring it out from their own line. And met by some very willing Auckland defence. And pushed back a couple of metres. Terrence Walters just goes from dubbing half, picking up Darren Doherty. 25 metres out from his own line.
As now the Adelaide Rams make their way out onto Marathon Stadium for the first time.